Taurus, the energies of October are going to be sweet and smooth. Let's revel in it and have an aligned astro chat about it. Shalom all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for October, Taurus. And I'm so excited, as always, to be connecting with you guys today. We are going to be pulling an overarching theme for you today from the Sweet Ass Affirmations 2 deck, just because I'm feeling a little sassy. We need a little sass. And then the tarot deck that stood out to me for you guys today is the Sambucus Tarot. This is a fairly new tarot deck to me, so we'll see. We'll see how you like the images. And without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so we are going to shuffle up these bad boys and see what affirmation is coming up for you. And you know, I really do feel like the energy is going to be sweet. Now, sometimes when we have a sweet, it can feel bittersweet. But I do feel like on average, overall, the energies for you this month are definitely going to be, I want to say, a little bit more easeful. Even those difficult things that you're having to deal with, I feel you're going to be given the tools to deal with it. I feel like you're going to be given the support that you're needing and that is required to get you through whatever it is and on to the other side. Aw, I am deeply loved and I deeply love me. I definitely feel this. This is that support that I was just talking about. It's like support and grace. I will be shocked if the a Six of Swords card doesn't come up in your reading. So you are deeply loved and you deeply love you. I feel like this month, October, is setting you up for success in that way because you are going to get the support that you need and it's going to show you how much you're loved. So even when you aren't not necessarily feeling that love towards yourself, you've got 1,000 mirrors looking back at you to show you where you are loved, where you deserve to be loved, where you deserve your own love, because people don't shine that back to you unless there's a part of you that has that, you know, like that's just not the way it works. You can't sustain showing someone love that can't receive it. And so I feel like it's a demonstration of who you are and where you're at in your world. So you're going to get a lot of support and a lot of help from those around you. And they're going to show you who you are to them by the way that they are connecting with you. And that is a beautiful thing. So presently, where are you at right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Oh, Ace of Cups. So it's been a bit of a rough ride. I'm feeling some energy here around this being what you've been craving, but not necessarily what you've been able to manifest, to produce. When we look at that Ace of Cups, we can often think of it as the love cup is full and overflowing. I also see this card as a card of initiation. And when we're talking about that transformational energy, I do really feel that you are in a pretty big one, a pretty big transformation as it stands. And I want to say, I feel like that's part of the reason why you're feeling a bit depleted, why you don't necessarily have all the energy that you wish you had or that you feel like you need. And I don't feel that this is a temporary, I don't feel that this is a permanent situation. I feel like it is temporary in the nature of things, but I do feel that this month in October in particular, it's going to kind of be a bit up and down. And I feel like it's like it's on you to set aside time to make sure that this is happening. It's on you to be able to insist on taking that time for you to recharge your own batteries or to reach out to your circles of support and say, I'm having a little bit of a difficult time loving myself right now. You know, can you help me out? You know, give me a little reflection because I'm not seeing it right now, or I'm not capable of giving it to myself. but I think I can receive it from you. So there's also a bit of vulnerability I feel for you right now. When we ask what part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving, I really feel that there's a lot of dissolving that's happening here. Dissolving of vulnerability, maybe, or dissolving of the resilience that is required to not be vulnerable, maybe is the way to say it. um I also feel like for some of you, there's been a shift in your scheduling. There's been a shift in some of the physical components of your life where, you went from having a lot of time, a lot of free time, or a lot of time to devote to the things that were filling you up. And now suddenly there's something that's kind of gotten in the way of that. Something that is taking precedence. But I definitely feel here with this Ace of Cups that it is an invitation to say, you're not that far off. Like, you can have this, you need it, but you also are allowed to have it. And so it's a matter of like asking for it, taking it, right? Leaning in. And when I say asking for it, I do feel that sometimes you're going to be asking others to help you through it, to help you to see it in yourself. But it's also, I want to say, just asking your guides for help. Angels and guides, what do I need to know here? How can I do this? Help me to make room in my schedule for me in all of this other stuff. The catalyst for you, what's fueling or hindering you this transformation? Is this resistance or is it rocket fuel? I feel like this is something that is a little bit beyond your control. Like, this is one of those life happens while you're busy making plans kind of things. And so I definitely feel that this isn't resistance. This is more like either shock or um, uh, kind of sinking into the awareness of what does this all mean? Like, how do I work with this? How do I process this? What do I really need to know about this? I love this. The Emperor is coming through because I feel like this is exactly how it felt. You were feeling very much in flow, in the divine feminine of things. There were experiences at work and experiences with friends that were really sort of livening things up. There was excitement. There was a direction. There was life and living and color. And all of a sudden, the Emperor came through and just kind of like, put the hacks down, right? Put the axe down, hacked right through that joy or right through that flow, put a stop to it. And, sometimes the Emperor can be loving and kind and thoughtful and, purpose is served. But on the flip side of this Emperor, it can be cruel and menacing and cold and calculating, right? So I really feel here that catalyst that has occurred has really been like the physicality of life, the realities of living in this third dimensional world, cut through that. I want to say that fifth dimensional, not the woo woo, but just the connection to yourself and source, that connection to those higher frequencies. And it doesn't mean that this is gone. It just means, okay, this kind of got in the way. Now, how do I either maneuver around this or weave this in to the pattern, weave this in to the life that I'm creating or to what is being presented? Wow, that's really interesting. I feel also like, again, you're not resisting this, but I don't feel like this is rocket fuel for you either. I honestly feel like this is going to be one of those months where you're going to be kind of taking stock. You're going to be really observing and evaluating situations as they come up, because a lot of things aren't necessarily going to make a whole lot of sense to you. And that's okay. It's okay to have to take things one little bit or bite at a time, in order to process and to understand it fully, to get the meaning behind it, or just to understand what the next step is. it might take you a little bit of time. So it's neither resistance or rocket fuel. I want to say it's literally just been placed in your path, and it's kind of like the universe saying, okay, what do you want to do with this? We'll give you a minute to acclimate to this and see how you want to process it, how you want to make it work for you. Here's your deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Oh, interesting. 4 of Cups. So, wow. I want to say here, this speaks to me of value and worth. And normally when we look at the 4 of Cups, I see despondency, I see delay, I see, obstacles in the way, sometimes a little pity party, you're getting in your own way. It can mean all sorts of things. This just feels like like you don't even really know what to do. You're kind of frozen in place. When we talk about the deep root and we talk about value, it's almost like whatever it is that you're processing right now, that you're dealing with, that you're facing, you're looking at it and it's almost like, well, I kind of asked for this, or well, I kind of deserved this, or it must have come because I must have manifested it. And I want to say, as much as I am love and light and believe in we choose the experiences we wish to have and we are co-creators and all the rest of it, I am not a proponent of beating ourselves up when there is a really challenging, difficult, traumatic experience that comes up. That's just, no, the conscious you did not create that. Absolutely did not create that. You, as a conscious, loving being, would not have chosen these things, right? So, yeah, there is a spiritual component. And I'm going to say to you, yeah, love and light and spiritual and all the rest of it. And a little bit, fuck you, universe, when you do run into these kinds of things. So when we talk about value, I feel like it's really important for you when you're going into that deep root to really connect to who you are and what you are worth, right? And spoiler alert, I'm going to give you the answer here. You're worth everything you could possibly want and desire. You're worth happiness and joy and abundance and ease and peace. You're worth being deeply loved and loving deeply and loving yourself deeply. You're worth all of that. And right now, with the challenge that is kind of coming up and coming through, I feel like it goes right to that subconscious layer. And maybe it's the light worker or the starseed in you from, past and parallel lives where you were tortured, ostracized, and possibly even killed for your beliefs, for your healing properties, whatever it is. This stuff is still there. It's in our DNA, and it comes up from time. It seeps up from time to time when we least expect it. So I feel like this 4 of Cups is coming up as a reminder to really go into the honesty, the authenticity of what's your value, what's your worth. You are worth everything. You are valued. You are loved. Use that as your basis, like as the foundation to support what it is that you are navigating, the waters that you're navigating at this time. This card, I feel, really is coming through to be supportive of you this month, not to give you a kick in the ass, as it sometimes does. All right, we are at our what's dying away. What role, pattern, or identity has run its course in your life? 9 of Coins. Interesting. So I want to say there is a chapter of your life that you are closing. We as a collective are in a chapter of life that is closing as well. So, there is that collective energy that then trickles down and influences our individual path and our individual choices. So, yes, you are closing a particular path, closing a door, closing a chapter. Some of you are even closing a volume in your life. Nine of Coins typically is the perseverance, the practice, the work and effort that goes into mastering your craft. It is the gratitude card. And so I feel like you are letting go of a particular path of mastery for a particular period of time in order to shift your focus into something that is presently aligned. And like I said, there is something that has gone down that is shifting your focus right now. It's not always going to shift your focus, but it definitely is taking up your now. So I feel like this is coming up to say, close the door on that chapter because there's a new pathway opening up. You're going to be required to put a little learning into it, a little practice, a little perseverance. It's a new path of mastery that you are walking. And we always have choice. I want to say to you, this is one of those things in life where it's not necessarily what the conscious you has chosen. It's what the universe has chosen. And now your choices lie in how you choose to learn from it, to engage with it, to interact with it. Are you up for the task? Are you up for the challenge? Remember that the challenge is always there for us. Even as difficult as the challenge can be, it is there for us. And it's up to us to be able to kind of find that nugget of triumph or support or wisdom. I also want to say to you, don't be afraid to ask for the support. Ask for the cheat sheet, because some of you are really going to need that cheat sheet as well. Not because you're dumb and you don't know. You need the cheat sheet because you're dealing with a lot. It can be heavy. Nines are about being in service, and endings can be really heavy. Endings contain a lot of grief. Of course, on the other side of that ending is a beautiful new beginning. Doesn't negate the fact that there's stuff that you got to kind of work through, right? Stuff that might not be all that pleasant to deal with. Wow. Okay. What can rise from the ashes? This is my favorite. This is your phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Seven of Wands. Wow. So normally this is read as a card of defense. I tend to see this card when the Seven of Wands comes up, as I call it the Brene Brown card. And I don't know exactly why, but she was just the person that fell into my head as the analogy, and it's just stuck. So if you know Brene Brown, she is a thought leader. She, speaks to, hundreds of thousands of people. She's spoken to millions upon millions of people in her life. She is a thought shower, a way shower, a supporter, an empowerer of people. She shares information, and she does it in such a way that people believe her, people feel comforted by her. Her messaging is positive. So when I see the Seven of Wands, what I'm seeing here is someone who's standing on a hill or standing on a platform, and other people are coming up to this person because they want to light their wands from this person's wand. Well, what is their wand? Their passion, their knowledge, their fire, their energy. And where the sort of the protection or the boundaries comes in when we're talking about this card is in understanding how much energy you actually have to give. So I come back to the Ace of Cups, filling your love cup. The goal is to have it full and overflowing. And you may be having a difficult time figuring out how to make that work for you, but you've got people that you can ask. This says to me, once you get through this, you're going to be the person that people are coming to, because now you have gained some wisdom that they would kill for. because they're lost and they're floundering and they don't know where to go. They don't know what is going to happen and what to do. And you're going to have that answer for them. You're going to be Brene Brown to them. You're going to be that empowerment. So feeling really like this is happening, this isn't happening so that you can help others. This is happening for your own soul growth. This is happening for you to be able to strengthen bonds around you and within you and beside you and, you know, above you and below you and, you know, all the things and the stuff. But there is, and there is a beautiful symptom or side effect, a beautiful unexpected outcome, where when you rise from the ashes, all of this is going to be magic. It's going to be manna. It's going to be nectar for other people. You're going to be the healer for other people because of this experience and because of how you are choosing to move through this experience. Doesn't mean you have to be any type of way, feeling what you're feeling. Feel what you feel, go through what you go through, you know, hit stuff, knock stuff around, scream, beat your chest, whatever you need to do. You know, be what it is, be authentically you. This isn't about bypassing, but this gives, I want to say, a little bit of a vision of who you're becoming on the other side and what is going to come of all of this work as you're doing it. And I feel for you, Taurus, is that, you know, most of you are very heart driven. Some of you are very soul driven, but most of you are very heart driven. And so that heart space, like telling this, makes it a little bit easier, or makes you feel like, okay, at least there's a reason behind it. I can kind of get behind it. You know, let's not say we did, but at least, okay, if I got to go through it at the end of the day, this would be okay. You know, at least something good can come out of it. So what is emerging for you just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support this next phase? Page of Wands. Interesting. So I feel like you guys are going to have an unexpected visitor this month. The unexpected visitor is going to literally show up and have exactly what you need in that moment, whether it's a book with information or a night out or the right person that you need to speak to or be, cross paths with. I really feel like the emergence for you this week, and I know we're talking just sort of about this month in particular, and this feels very isolated, this particular incident, or very specified. But I do feel that the emergence of this coming through for you sets the tone for how I feel this whole situation and scenario is going to play out. And again, I come back to asking for what you need and it will be provided. Page of Wands is showing up to give you all of that. And it's doing it with a passionate heart. It's doing it because the Page of Wands energy is showing up because you've called it forth, because your heart is that pure. I don't know why I just said that, but there you go. You've called it forth because your heart is that pure. I go back to the Four of Cups, the value and worth. And when your heart is that pure, you're going to expand that. You're going to multiply that. That's going to become more. You're going to shine ever more. So just when you think you don't have what it takes, whammo, someone comes in and gives you exactly what you need. And then you're like, okay, I've got enough in my gas tank. I've got enough in my love cup to be able to do this. And thank you so much for showing up with this. This is great. You know, this guy is sitting, tooting his own horn here. He's playing the flute, which is really his wand. And he's sitting on this tree, we call it a palm tree, that has really been weathered It's the trunk is bent, it's crooked. It's even been, sort of half broken off, but yet it still grows, and it still grows strong. And I feel like, I don't know, this is just I feel like a metaphor for what this month is really going to be about for you. There's going to be a lot of bending and some tricky stuff to navigate, but you're still standing, and you're going to be able to support others as a result of what you've been through, and you're getting help. It's like an earth angel showing up to give you what you need. So where are you at in this whole process for yourself? How are you navigating this particular transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Well, I definitely feel that you are grieving. There's a collective grief that's happening, and then individually I want to say you're dealing with some of that in your own life. But I also want to say to you, you're going to boldly rise as a result of it. And I love that we've got 2 4s here. So now we've got the 4 of Wands, and the 4 of Wands is establishing a new foundation. I like to call this a graduation. So I really feel like with all of this extra support, you're looking at the situation, you're looking at what this month is bringing, you're looking at the stairway that has presented itself for your ascension to get you to that next level. And you're saying, thank you, universe, because I thought I was going to have to figure out another way. I didn't see stairs. I didn't see a ladder. I thought I was going to have to manufacture a rope and a hook and try and throw it up and hopefully hit something that would stick and hold my weight while I'm going up the rope. So I'm grateful for this graduation. I'm grateful for the stairs that I get to walk. And nobody is saying you've got to walk it fast. I want to say it's just an acknowledgement that there is an ascension that is occurring. I definitely feel here as well that for a lot of you this month, there's going to be a real transformation around the way you see yourself in terms of your contributions to particular relationships in your life. And I feel like those particular relationships maybe need an overhaul or need an adjustment, or maybe just need a conversation that says we have to do things differently, or we need to be better with one another, or we need to be better to one another. I feel like there's a real desire to kind of graduate together. Like, I want to graduate with my class. I don't want to graduate with people that I didn't go to school with, right? And I feel like there's almost this energy of you also rallying the troops in your own world and saying, let's all come together and find a way to do this together. I want to celebrate this with you, or I want to go through this experience with you. There's no one else I'd rather be doing this than with you, my group of people. So I feel that this is a declaration that you're going to be making. And when we talk about this being you in the process, I feel like you're taking up the torch. You're picking up the torch and you're running with it. And you're saying, okay, I've got some juice in my battery. Let's move ahead and let's make the most of this. And you're going to have your good days and your bad days for sure. But I feel like this is what really motivates you. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it positive or negative? So we've been talking a lot about your circles of support already. That kind of came through in the overarching theme of this month. But let's see who else is supporting you. Yeah, so it's interesting. There is a lot of worry that you're having at this time. Granted, whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's big stuff. But I feel like the interesting thing here is that when you are feeling anxious, when you are feeling worried, when you are feeling a level of lack or scarcity that is popping up, I feel like there's always someone that's going to come to your aid. So the 5 of coins can be seen for you as 5 levels of support that you can lean on. 5 is that shift, that change, that transformation. And I feel like through all of this process, you really get to know who you can count on. You really get to know who your friends are, who your family is that that you can count on, who your work people you can count on. Yes, you get to know who you can't count on, but that's not what we're focusing on here. That's going to be a simple, oh, okay, you're not being able to give me what I need. All right, I don't have time to think about it right now. Thanks for letting me know. And you move on to the next. You'll deal with all that stuff later. And when it does come up and you're dealing with it later, what you're going to be able to do, you're going to be so far removed from it that you're going to recognize, oh, okay, great. That was a blessing in disguise. And I really know where my circles of support are right now. And so that's where I naturally gravitate to anyway. And everything else kind of falls by the wayside. So you're deeply loved. You're deeply loved. And I feel like your circles of support are going to really show up for you in a positive way, where when you're feeling the anxiety, someone's going to show up and remove that anxiety, remove that worry from you. They got you. They're going to get you where you need to go. Interesting. Hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming? And what scares you about actually doing it? Yeah, so there's a lot going on for you guys here. I feel like the big dream is to create the big thing, to get to the top of the ladder, to make the most perfect coin, right? To record the process of getting there so that you can perfect your craft. That's what this whole card is about. Perfection of your craft, mastery, paying attention to the details, higher education, the learning piece, right? The thing that you're afraid of is that this situation that you're in right now might take away your desire for this or your space in your life for this. Might take away your, I'm going to put this in air quotes, right to have this. And I want to say this month, it's going to be really important for you to dispel the thoughts or to acknowledge those thoughts of self-doubt or self-criticism or the fear that you might not get the thing that you want or that you haven't appreciated the things that you have enough. And so now you're not going to have the thing that you want, which is what you have right now. I feel like you're going to be able to release all of that, come out the other side saying, I made it. I made it. And now I have a little bit of space to move forward in this. I give myself permission to lean into this because it is my mastery. In many ways, it's my birthright to be able to have this and do this. There's a lot of stuff going on here that I feel is connected to like a guilt or a shame component. And I want to say you want to release all of that. It's not necessary. It's not required. It's only going to get in the way of this path of mastery. Understand it to be a part of it. Like it brought you to this place. So now, thank you. You brought me there. Now I'm going to leave you at the door because you're my cab driver and I'm not going to invite you in for dinner because you've got other fares to pick up. We've served our purpose. We've had our, we've fulfilled our contract. And now I'm moving forward into something new. I feel like that's really important. Okay, and now, what is your outcome if you stay the course in October? Who will you be on the other side of this journey? And what is the result of embracing the full cycle of death and rebirth? Oh, I love it. Truth, balance, clarity, and I want to say a level of detachment from all of the craziness, the chaos, the nonsense and shenaniganery, and a real clear path towards what is your priority, what matters most to you, what is it that you want to be putting your focus and your attention to. bravery. I feel like justice has to be brave because it's not always going to be popular. If you think about it, justice is always going to piss off, at least one person in the room. And sometimes it pisses off 50 people in the room out of 100. Sometimes you can't please everyone. And justice understands that more so than any other archetype. You can't please everyone, but you can please yourself. And when you please yourself, when you follow the path of your truth, when you detach from the emotional component of things and get right to the heart of what it is that you need, and you bring that clarity, then you can bring emotion back into the mix. It's not so muddy. Now you're clear on that path, and then the emotion can fuel you. Justice is brave, and you are brave. And you're going to get through this with flying colors, smooth sailing all the way. And I want to say, even though this isn't sunshine and daisies, wine and roses, I see you blooming and blossoming through whatever this is that's coming up for you here in October. And I believe in you. You're going to get through this and you're going to thrive. And I feel like you're going to thrive even as you're going through it. And that's important because go back to the value piece. You are worth this. You are valuable and worth getting to the other side of this and learning whatever it is you need to learn from it, or just saying, well, that was a hell of a ride. I wouldn't have chosen it for myself consciously. Now that I've been through it, okay, I don't want to ever have to go through it again, but let's take what we can and move forward. Interesting. Holy cannoli. All right, Taurus. So this is going to be kind of an interesting month for you. And if you need any help, support, guidance, just someone to lift you up, please click the link below, reach out. That's what I'm here for. Otherwise, sending you so much love and support for this transformational tarot in October. Wishing you all the best, and we will see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.